Hello and welcome to this week's Comics from the Future. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And we're with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, where every Friday we run this show where we show you all the latest and greatest comics and covers available to pre-order. We've got a really great show this week, a lot of really big, awesome books
Yeah.
coming out from Marvel, DC, Image, Boom. So just sit back, relax, and get ready to watch. Also, if you want to know more about these books or you want a place where you can easily order them, just go to our website, infinityflux.net. You can get a free comic subscription there. You could just view the books we're talking about. You can click on any of them. You can subscribe to the series ongoing, or you can just pre-order just one cover. It's that easy. And anything you pre-order, you can actually get 10% off doing it that way. So again, that's at infinityflux.net. Okay, so on with the show. Our first segment is featured comics. These are the ones we think most people are going to want to hear the most about, beginning with
Shazam #1. They don't even have the trade dress up for this one yet, but you can tell right there with the big red cheese that is Shazam. So this is from your team from World's Finest, Batman Superman World's Finest. This is Mark Waid and Dan Mora, both of them. They're not leaving that book. They are doing both books. How they're managing that, I have no idea, but I'm grateful for it. I actually got a chance to read this one, and let me tell you, this is, if you've never read a Shazam book, this is a perfect one to jump on to. So, I don't want to say they're reinventing Shazam, but one of the big things that's happening in this is he is no longer known as Shazam because he's got that little problem. He can't tell people his own name or he transforms back. So something happens in this, and you'll have to see what it is, where people, mostly his family, start calling him Captain. So we're inching back closer to Captain Marvel, but he's just Captain, and it's very funny when you see how it is. But this, I would say it deals a little bit less with his family than maybe previous incarnations. Freddy's still there, but right now, the only people who have powers in the family are Billy Batson as Shazam and Mary.
Mary. Yep.
The rest of them don't have powers anymore, so it's a little bit more focused on Captain in this one. It's really cool. So it's kind of described as who do you call when you have the weirdest and wildest threats? And you're going to be seeing some zany stuff in this. One of the big things, dinosaurs from space make a big appearance in this first issue. Really fun. So you're kind of seeing how he does have a little bit of that kid's personality. He's not like as goofy as sometimes he's written, but when he thinks something's cool, he sees a T-Rex. That's pretty cool. Really, really fun. And they're setting up kind of what's his position in the DC universe? What do other like the general public think about him? We kind of know what they think about Batman and Superman, but what do they think about Shazam, and what does he do in this issue that may ruin that? It's kind of setting up a bigger story. But if you enjoyed Batman Superman World's Finest, if you enjoyed the new Superman series, this is a lot in line with the tone of those. This is bright and hopeful, but with still, threats looming and everything, but very, very fun. I can't wait for people to read this one. I loved it. Can't wait for it to come out so I can read it again. So this is our A cover by Dan Mora.
Great Dan Mora cover, but I have to say, it sets the tone for a book that Mark Waid does, because Mark Waid loves to draw from a character's entire history.
Yes.
So in the background, you see it's all old Captain Marvel stuff.
There's even a little reference in this to you see him and he has the dots for eyes, like the old, really old
one.
Captain Marvel comics.
Yep.
And a little fun thing too is, what does Billy Batson do as a side job? Well, it's a little Peter Parker-esque. He's pretty close with a superhero, so he does a little reporting on them. Very, very fun. So our B cover, we've got the Chris Samnee cover. We've got a John Timms cover. All of these are really strong. We have a DEODATO spot foil variant. I'm guessing maybe the lightning is going to be like a spot foil or something like
Interesting.
that. But
Yeah, you're probably right.
and then we have another Dan Moore cover. This is actually a page from the interior. So you'll have to read it to find out kind of what this is talking about, but very, very cool. And if you like this, I mean that's what your interior looks like.
All right, so Venom fans, Venomverse fans, Marvel is doing another 5-issue Venomverse miniseries called Extreme Venomverse. This is for several reasons. I mean, first and foremost, Venom is hugely popular, and the Venomverse stuff was really awesome. A lot of that was done by Cullen Bunn back several
Oh,
years
yeah.
ago. So the other reasons are that this is the 35th anniversary of the creation of Venom, and this sort of kicks off early the Summer of Symbiotes thing that Marvel is doing. So what the Venomverse is, it's Venoms from different universes and just tales of theirs. So this is going to have 3 different stories in this first issue. The first story is by Ryan North with art by Paulo Sequeira, and it is Eddie Brock, but in this universe, he is that universe's Spider-Man.
Oh.
So yeah, a little twist on the tail, but I'm guessing he's gonna be like basically maybe Peter never got bit,
Mm-hmm.
and so as Venom, he just gets known as Spider-Man and gets to be, his brand of hero
Yeah.
without the rub with Peter. That's my guess. I have not read this. I'm just guessing. The second story is by Mirko Andolfo, who does story and art, and it's supposed to be a story about the Eddie Brock family in general.
Hmm.
Yeah. The third story is by Leonardo Romero, and it is Venom as a Samurai, which we can see
Very
at
cool.
the bottom of the cover there. So this is the first issue of the 5-issue series. Here is the LASHLEY variant. Here is the MOMOKO variant. Here is the Scotty Young variant.
They all want a
Everyone
piece
wants
of the
the
samurai.
Samurai Venom, yeah. And then here is the Ryan Stegman variant.
It's very cool. And, this feels a lot like the Edge of the Spider-Verse series that they do where it's like each issue has a couple of different
Yep.
universe versions. So that'll be really good. You're going to get some new first appearance of, weird Venoms.
Exactly. Yep. All these will
That's always the
be,
exciting
yeah,
bit.
first appearance of multiverse Venoms and Eddie Brock's.
Okay, speaking of Cullen Bunn has he's actually got 2 new number ones, but first off is this one called Ghostlore. This is by Cullen Bunn, and the first issue is going to be drawn by Brian HURTT, who is one of his longtime collaborators on like Six Gun and everything. This is a 12-issue story with each issue having a different artist, and it is about a pastor and his estranged daughter, and they are in a near fatal accident. It's very like The Frighteners or something, and now they can see ghosts. But not just see ghosts, they can hear them. They can hear their cries, their warnings. And so, what do you do when you're kind of walking that edge where you're constantly getting this feedback from all these different spirits? And they're not the only ones who have this ability. And it seems like some of the other ones are using that ability for malevolent reasons. So I think this sounds really cool. I love Cullen Bunn. Cullen Bunn doing anything supernatural, weird, I'm all there for. And I'm excited to see, especially the different artists that he brings on to do
It's
this.
like, come on, Ghost Voice, give me the winning lotto numbers.
Yeah, can you like talk your ghosts into going and
Show me which scratch off has the right thing.
so this is our A cover for that. We have this very
Whoa.
creepy Brian Hurt variant.
Just the skin is just kind of flying off. That's very like Beetlejuice.
Yeah. And then this is the UV Spot Ghost variant by ZONJIC.
So they say UV. I wonder if it's going to glow under black light
Oh,
or something of
maybe.
that sort.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is Batman issue 135. However, in legacy numbering, that makes this Batman issue 900, which couldn't come out a better time because this is the climactic ending of the Batman of Gotham story arc that the team of Zdarsky and Hawthorne have been telling to much fanfare. It's been a really great storyline of Bruce Wayne in an alternate universe where the Bruce Wayne in that universe is dead and Gotham has no Batman. So he has to become Batman and meet all kinds of new iterations of people, including Red Mask, who we see on the cover there, who is that universe's Joker, but very, very different. So this is going to be a double-sized issue since it's the anniversary issue. George Jimenez is also coming back to do some art on this issue, and they say that this is going to put Batman on a new path. We'll see about that. I don't know. I got to read a slight preview of it. It was only the first 6 pages. Didn't get to that, but I mean, this is a 56-page book, so
Yeah.
they wouldn't give us the goods.
No.
So for sure, it's going to end the storyline. You're going to have Batman versus Red Mask. But as far as where this is going to take Bruce Wayne, I don't know because he was sent to this other universe in the last arc by what's his name, Failsafe. And Bruce kind of figured that Failsafe specifically sent him here to learn something that would change him. So this is, it's almost like Batman sent himself here, like the evil version, because Failsafe was basically,
Yeah.
his own brain being evil. So a lot going on. I think something pretty climactic will happen here. So here's our regular cover. Here is the QUESADA connecting cardstock variant cover.
These are really cool if you start looking through there. There's even you can tell his version of other artist versions. So there is a very like Tim Sale Batman in this. These are always fun to kind of go through and try to figure out where they're all from.
And if that one doesn't do it for you, here's the other QUESADA connecting variant.
Yeah, you got Batman Beyond, you've got Azrael.
So those, depending on what store you order from, they are known as the B and C QUESADA connecting cardstock variants. So you
But
put
if
them
you're gonna
together.
get one, you got to get both.
I think they're banking on that. Here is the DELL variant, which maybe Ivy will appear in this issue. Here is the ARTGERM variant.
And possibly Catwoman.
Well, Selena Kyle's been a decent part of this arc. It just is it's a very different Selena than Bruce's. Not completely different, but different. Here is the KAEL New variant. Here is the Neil Adams variant. And lastly, we have the Jim Chung foil variant. That is so much what the show is about. When there's so many variants, you got to let your store know by pre-ordering which one you want because we can't just order like limitless copies of all these. Not if we want to stay in business.
We're gonna go out of business, but it's because we want so many Batman.
At least we made everyone happy.
Yeah. Okay, next up is Silk getting her own ongoing series. So this is Silk #1 by Emily Kim and art by Iguera. And not a whole lot, especially since this is just kicking off. Most of the information about it is just like, hooray for Silk, she's getting her own thing. But it does say that she is becoming more popular in the public eye. Spider-Man, they hate him constantly, but Silk comes in and they're like, we love you. But she starts to question her place in the world. And if you read the Spider-Man End of the Spider-Verse storyline, she has a big responsibility now involving the Spider-Verse. So she is going to be figuring all that out as a new villain is unleashed in the city. And it says, discovers the dangers of ancient Korean magic and social media. So just sounds like a whole new mess of stuff going on for
Also,
Silk.
ancient Korean magic and social media had a lot to do with the last Silk series. It didn't go very many issues. It was cool, but something happened with that.
Yeah. So if you're a fan of Silk, support it by pre-ordering Silk #1. This is our A cover. We have our Casa Grande Women of Marvel variant. We have this really nice Chew variant. Of course, a Peach Momoko, tiny little silk and a flower. And we have the Riley Window Shades variant, this time on the other side of the window shades.
All right, so a new ongoing series from Image Comics. It is called Starsigns. It is by Saladin Ahmed and art by Megan Levins. So the premise for this is that the constellations of the zodiac fall to Earth and they inhabit 12 different people, giving each one a superpower based on one of the constellation signs. However, these powers are not without a price. So that is the general premise to Starsigns. And here is the B cover. This is the Doran variant for that issue number 1.
And next up, we've got the continuation of Batman White Knight with a new 6-issue miniseries. This is Batman White Knight Presents Generation Joker. So if you've followed the White Knight stuff, you know that Joker and Harley had kids, and now those kids are going to be stealing a Batmobile and I guess taking a road trip. But what we found out in the last series is the Batmobile actually has a AI in it that is Jack Napier, the good side of Joker, and he is going to be trying to convince them along the way to not follow in their family footsteps and to be good. So it sounds really fun. This is going to be done by Sean Murphy, and Mirka Andolfo is going to be doing the art. So I'm very excited about this. I love the White Knight universe, and it's not slowing down at all. I think they've announced another series after this, so if you want to continue it, grab this one. And this also does feature the new Robin that appeared in the Red Hood series and some of the more recent additions to the series. This is our, of course, Sean Murphy A cover, and we have a Mirka Andolfo variant.
All right, also from DC is the new Peacemaker miniseries, Peacemaker Tries Hard. This is going to be 6 issues. I got to read the first issue today. I got the preview of that from DC. And what I will say is they are definitely leaning into the James Gunn interpretation of Peacemaker, meaning the series is very funny and messed up. People say some things that made me laugh out loud. If you got that dark sense of humor, if you like Peacemaker from the previous movie and the TV series, you're going to like this comic. Go ahead and just subscribe to it now. It's written by Kyle Starks, who's always been good at doing humor and putting humor in a comic that also has cool action, with art by Steve Pugh. So the general premise is Peacemaker has earned his way out of Suicide Squad. Mark down your calendars. I don't know how many people Amanda Waller has ever let go,
Yeah.
but he is now trying to just do his own heroing thing. He kind of learns that he's a lonely guy, though, until he meets a dog that he falls in love with. And of course, right off the bat, some enemy uses that against him and kidnaps the dog. But don't worry, this isn't going to just be like John Wick reskinning here. There is more going on as to what this person wants Peacemaker to do. It's nothing nefarious. It's not as nefarious as it could be, I guess. But he wants him, for certain reasons, to steal the DNA of a very powerful and dangerous DC character. So that's the premise. But honestly, the reason to read this is the dialogue, the wit, just how funny and shocking the situation. It starts with him in a grocery store trying to buy some stuff, and that scene's one of my favorite scenes. And nothing even actiony happens. It's just him dealing with the public and just how people treat him and what he says back to them. So anyhow, I highly recommend it. At least the first issue was awesome. So here's our main cover by Chris Anka. Here is the Bjorn Barons variant.
Yeah, that's the artist that done a lot of Spawn variants, and it just translates really well over.
Yeah, it does. And then here is another one by Chris Anka. This is the movie poster variant for that series.
Okay, next up, another Cullen Bunn book. He's back to the old days of when he seemed like every book he was writing.
He's dueling with Mark Millar.
Yes, or most books on the shelf. So this is Lamentation. This is by Cullen Bunn and Arjuna Suzini. And I thought this sounded really, really cool. So it's going to be 3 oversized issues, which, when you learn about it, you realize kind of reflect 3-act play. So there is a new production set to begin in the famed Requiem Theater, Razid's Lament. And this is kind of one of those very weird plays, very like uncomfortable King in Yellow type thing. And it seems our protagonist gets hired to play the lead role without even auditioning. So it's kind of one of those like fated to be, or why is she brought in for this? Um, this story is a 3-act play set in a dark castle with a story that some people believe is more fact than fantasy. The director of it is temperamental and very particular. The script keeps changing, and you know, it seems like it's when the play finally opens, it affects the actors and the audience in a very strange way. So I think this sounds really cool. It's a very, kind of classic, uh, dark romantic fantasy style. So this is Lamentation #1. This is our A cover. Then we have our Yannick Paquette variant. This one's really cool. This is the Kyle Hotz variant. This is a very Phantom of the Opera operatic cover.
It's got all that swirling that Kyle
Uh-huh.
Hotz loves to do in his covers, and he
Yeah.
does so well. All right, so those were our featured number ones, but now we're going to move on to other number ones. Maybe some of these will grab you even more, starting with Dark Spaces Good Deeds. This is going to be a mini series set in Scott Snyder's Dark Spaces imprint. So
Mhm.
the previous one was Dark Spaces Wildfires that followed the group of firefighters who decided to rob a particular criminal's house during a big wildfire. This is very different, and this time it is not Scott Snyder writing this. This is written by Shea Grayson with art by Ramsey Kelly. So just set in the universe. I
Mhm.
guess Scott Snyder is sort of producing this one,
Yeah, yeah.
as it were. So, from what I can understand about the plot, it is a reporter in Augustine, Florida, who gets embroiled in a supernatural conspiracy that links to the town's history. So that's what's going on, as far as I can tell, just reading about this Good Deeds #1. So here's the main cover. Here is the Beals variant. And here is the Sherman variant.
Very cool. I love the kind of southern weird fantasy stuff. Okay, this next one is Survival. This is by Sean Lewis and Brandon Everett. And this is about Emma Reed. She is kind of left her family, left her home, but she is coming back to Alaska where they live. And meanwhile, a plane crashes and unleashes some terrible beast monster in the mountains near the family home. And so it's going to be her with her family. I'm guessing kind of dealing with this, defending their hometown, whatever, in the last American frontier. So it sounds really cool. Anytime it's a monster in the snow, I think of like The Thing or something like that. But yep, this is Survival #1 from Sean Lewis, and only the one cover.
All right, so Buffy the Vampire Slayer is coming out with another one shot. It is called Buffy the Vampire Slayer The Lost Summer. So Buffy and the Scooby Gang are going to have an adventure in good old New Orleans. Seems really appropriate. So that's what's going on in this one shot. The cover is done by Mirka Andolfo, and here is the variant by Rebecca Fish. Is that the first name? I just wrote
Show
down the last
Show
name
me
is
fish.
okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Corrected.
Okay, next is Monomyth. It's really hard not to say monolith, which is probably what they meant. This is a 6-issue miniseries from David Hazan, and it's a little sprinkling of like a Harry Potter when the last ailing wizard casts a summon spell to summon a bunch of magic users from a certain bloodline to this ancient castle of this ancient school of magic. So they have to either rebuild it, come to terms with their dark pasts, and fun stuff like that. So sounds really fun. This is the A cover for that, and then there's a Juan Doe variant for that as well.
All right. Those of you who love Ed Piskor and Red Room, it is coming back for a 4-issue miniseries. Ed Piskor's Red Room Crypto Killers. So that's right. Ms. Pentagram and the Red Room Killers return for this 4-issue miniseries. The cover here is done by Ed Piskor, who does all the art, all the writing. And then there is also a blank sketch variant as well.
Don't want to know what people get sketched on there.
So next, our segment is cool covers and other comics. This is going to be variant comics, variant covers for comics that are ongoing that we think are noteworthy. And issue number 2s and 3s, a series that maybe you needed to be reminded that you liked and you want to sign up for.
First off, we have Adventures of Superman John Kent, number 3 of 6, halfway through this series. The last one we saw John Kent arrive in the Injustice universe, and he's going to have to learn what that means as he meets his father in that universe. But why does everyone there fear the S on his chest? Why is Batman public enemy number 1? And John must pick the side that may end up being against his father. So this is Adventures of Superman John Kent, number 3, our A cover. We have our Orzu variant, and we have our Afu Richardson variant.
All right, it is the final issue of Batman and Joker, the Deadly Duo, issue number 7. This is a Simon Bisley variant, one of 2. So here's the first Simon Bisley variant, and here is the other Simon Bisley variant. So they've been on so many good variants on this series. So again, this is the final issue for this. Will Batman and the Joker and their somewhat team up be able to allow them to save Commissioner Gordon and Harley Quinn? Here, there are 2 other variants too. Here's the Mike Mignola variant. The Joker's hair in this.
I love that, yeah.
And here is the Jock variant.
Next up, we have Flash number 798. We're getting really close to that issue 800. And in this one, Mr. Terrific and other special guest stars helped Wally as he has to head into time and space to fix something horrible that's happened. So this is our B cover. This is the Mike Perkins and Mike Spicer variant. And we have this Ethan Young variant as well.
Here is the Clayman variant for Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, issue number 8. And in this issue, the Joker is nursed back to health by Solomon Grundy after he is hit by a train. That's a good elevator pitch.
It is. I also love this cover because it's like after Killing Joke, when he takes the picture, then he gets his film developed. And he's like, look at my film. I got pictures.
You're absolutely right.
It's
yeah,
real fun.
for sure.
Next up is Poison Ivy, number 12, which I love now that it's got picked up to an ongoing. I guess this would have been the final issue if it didn't get extended once again into an ongoing.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be a 6 issue. Then they said, okay, you can do 12.
Yep.
And then not long after, I think issue 8, they're like, yeah, just keep going.
Yeah, and so so this one does end this current story arc. And Poison Ivy, at the end of this, is going to be heading back to Gotham. So this is our A cover for that. We have our Jenny Frison variant. And we have our Zaramenko variant.
All right. Planet of the Apes number 2 is up for order this week. The issue number 1, I reviewed it on our Monday video. I liked it a whole lot. I particularly said if you enjoy the movies, you're going to like it. If you've never seen any Planet of the Apes at all, you might want to check out that particular brand of sci-fi and sort of the story it's telling, which really transcends the fact that it's talking apes. It's not, like, it's not just a circus sideshow of, oh, that's weird and interesting. I mean, it's a pretty deep story.
Yeah.
Anyhow, issue number 2 is up for order. And in this, the threat of simian dominance becomes more and more likely even as the UN meets to try to stop it. So here is the Albuquerque variant, and here is the Rice variant for issue number 2 of Planet of the Apes.
Then we have the very big Amazing Spider-Man number 25. This is the one that pretty much everything's been leading to so far in the first 24 issues. And it just says your heart isn't ready for this one. I know there's a lot of theories. Is Mary Jane gonna die? What's gonna happen with, anything's on the table basically. So this is our A cover for that, the Romita Jr. We have the John Cassaday variant. We have the Romita Jr. Mary Jane variant.
Homage variant
Yep.
for sure.
We have the Greg Land variant,
That's really nice.
which is interesting because I know back in like year before last Timeless or whatever, we saw Mary Jane wearing
The
a
spider
spider
outfit.
outfit, and so it's like, oh, is this maybe a hint to that? We have the Disney 100 variant.
Dark Avengers
Yep.
homage.
We have, of course, a Scotty Young variant.
Okay, here's the main cover for Rogue and Gambit issue number 3. In this issue, Gambit discovers that Rogue has been keeping some secrets from him, which further sort of drives a wedge between them that's sort of been building through this series. So again, this is the main cover. Here is the Casa Grande Women of Marvel variant. Here is the DeCal variant. And here is the Lupacino Spider-Verse variant.
And next we have Captain Marvel number 49. Is this an homage to like the Alien? I know there's like the Alien cover or whatever where it's curled up with the tail and
I think
everything.
so. I believe so.
So we do know that the Captain Marvel series is ending fairly soon, and this is Captain Marvel issue 49. So not long after that, but about to hit the big issue 50, and still dealing with all the Brood storyline. So this is our Romero variant, and then we have our Romy Jones Spider-Verse variant.
Okay, this is the main cover to Cosmic Ghost Rider issue number 3. And as you can see on this cover, Valkyrie's going up against Cosmic Ghost
Mhm.
Rider. At the same time, the two different Cosmic Ghost Riders are growing ever closer and as they are eminently going to meet. So again, main cover, and here is the Woods variant for issue number 3.
Next up is Daredevil number 11. This is another series that is heading towards its big climactic ending of the Zdarsky and Chichetto run of it. And this one, it does, I think it's interesting because it says that Daredevil's been dealing with the hand for so long, but what what is too far? What does the hand do that pushes Matt Murdock too far? So this is our A cover. We have our Dave Johnson Spider-Verse variant.
Daredevil stealing somebody's outfit.
We have the Derek Chu Electra variant. We have the Federico Vincentini variant. And we have the Inyuk Lee Iron Fist AAPI Heritage Month variant.
Here's our main cover to Invincible Iron Man issue number 6.
I love this cover.
It's really interesting. Okay. Like also, if you look at the numbering there, what do they have? That's 656. For a second, I thought it said 666. I was like, wow, they're going that way. So in this issue, this is a story from the past. Okay, it's never been told before, but it's set in the past where Iron Man is going up against the West Coast Avengers. He's taking on Wonder Man. He's fighting Hawkeye. The question is why? Why are they fighting back in the day? And how is this going to affect the ongoing story? Because it's supposed to affect the main story that's been going on as well. So main cover, here's the Anedito Spider-Verse variant. Here is the Leighton connecting variant. Yes, more Iron Man suits. I wonder how long this is going to go.
It's a big room.
Here is the Rose Besh variant.
Looks like Emma Frost still going to be a part of
I
it.
don't think she's ever done. Rose Besh has done an Iron Man variant yet.
I don't
So,
know. Yeah.
and here is the Segovia variant.
Love getting to see the Iron Centurion armor again, too. It's one of the best. Next up is Spider-Gwen Shadow Clones number 3. And in this issue, we're going to find out who created the clones. The big mastermind behind it is revealed. So this is your A cover. We have a really nice Gonzalez variant. And we have another Greg Land variant, this time, I guess, with Gwen the Hunter.
That's what I thought too. I was gonna ask you if you didn't say what you think her name was. Yeah, I think Gwen.
Crave Gwen.
Crave Gwen.
Crave Gwen the Hunter.
Okay. So here is Spider-Man 2099 Dark Genesis issue number 2. And this is the continuation of the 2099 stuff by Steve Orlando. It's going to have the first appearance of Blade 2099 in it, who is now a zombie hunter. Maybe he killed all the vampires by 2099. I don't
To pick
know.
up a new profession.
You're going to see him on some good covers. This is the main cover. Here's the Lashley frame variant cover. And here is the Rice connecting variant for that as well.
Next up, we have Star Wars Darth Vader number 34. So we're still dealing with the big fallout from Vader's powers are now spiraling out of control as he can barely contain them, and that's costing everyone around him severely. So this is our A cover for that. Then we have our Nico variant. We have the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary cover. And we have the Solo 5th anniversary cover. And also we have High Republic issue number 9, just a really nice variant by Tyler Kirkham.
All right, this is Wolverine number 33, the In-Hyuk Lee Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month variant. And in this issue, if you've been reading Wolverine, you could probably guess what's happening in it. It's more Wolverine versus Beast.
So like the last, quite a few issues have been about
at it, yeah. So and then there's another one. There's the U Spider-Verse variant for this issue as well.
like he's got like adamantium
Yeah,
iron
for sure.
spider arms.
Yep.
Very cool. Next up, we have X-Men Red number 11. So this is one of the Marvel Icons variants by Caselli. And then we have the Vecchio Spider-Verse variant. This Storm has like lightning spider webs.
That's actually pretty cool.
That'd be very horrifying.
Okay, so this is the third and final issue of the miniseries Clear by Scott Snyder and Francis Manapul. This is the main cover. This is the final issue of the series, the sci-fi dystopian reality distorting book series. So don't miss out because I mean issue 1 was awesome, and it's going to be over before you know it.
Next up, Grim Fairy Tales is doing their 2023 May the 4th cosplay pinup special. And while we're speaking now, we've got Star Wars Celebration going on, so we're getting into the summer of Star Wars, and these are always really fun. They're just the Grim Fairy Tales characters in non-copyright binding Star Wars cosplay. So this is our A cover, Rise. We have the Vittorino variant. We have the Dooney variant. And we have the Ortiz variant.
All right, this is the main cover to Hairball issue number 2, which is done by Matt King. And this is sort of, they compare it to Junji Ito meets Miyazaki. So, of course, really what it's about is an evil cat who destroys a family in very weird ways. So, again, this is the main cover.
That really bothers me.
Matt Kint himself did this cover. And then here is the Bueno variant for Hairball issue number 2.
And next up is our final issue of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 2. This is issue number 5 of 5. And this is the Dan Mora A cover. I love these designs they've been doing in this book for the Turtles and the Power Rangers. It's so cool. This is our A cover for that. And then we have this really nice towel variant as well.
All right, on to our last segment, other printings and graphic novels, starting with Art Brut is getting a hardcover. They say it's volume 1 Winking Woman. I wasn't sure it had gone. I guess maybe it did go to a volume 2.
I'm not
So
sure.
yeah, so the reason is this indie series is done by the Ice Cream Man team before they were way more popular because of Ice Cream Man. So this is all 4 issues of the volume 1 for $19.99, and this is set in the world of art and the Galleries of the Mind. So just want to let people know this is available for order.
We also have the hardcover of Sins of Sinister. This is collecting all of the 3-issue miniseries, the Immortal X-Men, Storm, and the Brotherhood of Mutants, Nightcrawlers, and the one-shots that are kind of the bookend ones. So you can get the entire thing, read it as a whole for $75.
All right, so next up for $49.99, they're doing a New Mutants Epic Collection, The Asgardian Wars. So this is where the New Mutants end up having to go into the Asgardian lands. What issues was it? It was like New Mutants 32 through 44. And we're talking like the classic New Mutants series written by Chris Claremont. So if you want that, it is 512 pages for $49.99.
And next up, we have Planet Hulk World Breaker. This collects the 5-issue miniseries that just ended. A very fun return to that world of Sakaar and what's been going on there since we last left it. This is 1 through 5 for $17.99.
And speaking of series that just ended not too long ago, they're collecting Secret Invasion.
Yep.
This is that series, that 5-issue series that just ended, that all of a sudden everybody's looking for because the show's coming up and now everybody's trying to grab this. I know prices on the original comics have just gone up quite a bit. Well, you could just skip all that and just buy the graphic novel. It is just $17.99 for 120 pages, the full series by Ryan North with art by Francisco Mobili.
And then we have the Batman versus Robin hardcover. This is going to collect the whole Batman versus Robin storyline that wove through a couple of different series and the 5-issue main story. And this is for $29.99.
Okay, so here's one that interests me. I didn't know about it till this week. You know, we're
I put this on here
constantly
because
learning.
of you.
Yeah, it is Twilight Man, Rod Serling, and the Birth of Television, a new original hardcover for $29.99. This is done by Horan Shadme, who does all the art for it, including the cover. So I always love it when the interior artist does the cover because it gives you hints how it's
Yeah.
going to look on the inside. But Corin also does the writing, just everything. It's a one person show. And this is a biography on Rod Serling from his time in the Army all the way through all the entertainment that he created and all the shows he wrote. I'm a big Rod Serling fan. If you've watched the show enough, you've probably seen I have a shirt I had to go to at length. There are not a lot of Rod Serling shirts out there, at least not good ones. Yeah, so anyhow, this is going to be $29.99. This is a hardcover. Once again, I think this is going to be very underordered by shops. So if you're the sort that wants this, pre-order it to guarantee that you get your copy.
Next up is Unwritten Compendium Volume 1. So this was an old Vertigo series. Highly recommend this. I feel like this is one that didn't get as much press, but was probably one of Vertigo's best series towards the end of their lifespan. And this is about a character named Tommy Taylor, who is essentially the real world Harry Potter. His dad wrote a bunch of fantasy novels about Tommy Taylor, and now he attends cons and he signs things as this character, but he kind of really hates that about it. But he kind of goes through a mystery since his father's disappearance about is some of this stuff real. It's very literary, brings in a lot of like Moby Dick and other classic works of fiction, all kind of exploring books and what that means. So this comes with issues 1 through 30, plus the original graphic novel, Tommy Taylor and the Ship That Sank Twice. So if you're looking for a new, very Vertigo book to read, highly recommend this one.
All right. It's Jeff. The one shot that just released the other week is going back to second print. So this is by Stephanie Thompson and Giri Huru. It's a collection of a lot of like one-page adventures with Chef Jeff. I saw the food.
There.
I saw the food with Jeff the Land Shark. These don't have dialogue, but they're very amusing. Sold out at a lot of stores lately. So if you missed it, here's a second printing with a new cover for you.
We sold out of this very fast. So,
Awesome.
yeah, get your Jeff. Next up is Star Wars Jabba's Palace, #1 second printing. This is the Todd Knott cover for that. So if you missed the first part of the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary issues, you can grab this really nice Todd Knott variant.
Another second print from Marvel, Venom Lethal Protector 2 just began with a new #1 just last week, and it is going back to second print as well with this cover that I think looks great in black
It
and
does
white
look
with just a
really
little bit of
good.
red. That all just it really works. Strong cover. So anyhow, if you missed that #1 or you just want this cover because it's awesome art, it's available for pre-order.
And people may have seen this
I've
before.
never seen this.
This is the facsimile of Batman 181 with all the original ads. Of course, the first appearance of Poison Ivy, which, I mean, she has risen up the ranks to being near an A-list character now at DC.
Yeah.
People love Poison Ivy. So if you've never read her first appearance, this is a way cheaper way of reading that in its facsimile edition.
Okay, that is our show for this week. So thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. And if you need a place to order these comics or other comics, please go to our website at infinityflux.net, where you can view all the things we just talked about. You can set up for a free subscription on any of these books, and you get 10% off for anything you pre-order. You can also just order covers you like. Again, that's all on infinityflux.net, not to mention with many other things that our store carries as
Yes.
well. So again, thanks for watching, and we will be back on Monday with our 2 shows that we do now. We've launched a quick pitch show where we do 10 comics that we just show very quickly. We say one thing about them after having read them.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's really important stuff. That show's like a 5-minute show. Then we do our longer show where we go over 20 comics in depth
Yeah.
and show all their variants and everything. And that is more of our 45-minute show. So now people can pick which one they want.
Or both. Watch both.
That is true. That is true. So and more coming from us as this year continues. So again, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.